Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Minister, I want to welcome you into the Chamber today and congratulate you on your recent appointment as Minister of State at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade and wish you the very, very best in your portfolio. I also want to welcome the opportunity to speak today on the 30th Amendment of the Constitution, the Treaty on Stability, Coordination and Governance in the Economic and Monetary Union Bill 2012. This is by far the most important treaty ever to come before the Irish people for our consideration. It is the legislative framework that is designed to protect the citizens of this state from reckless spending, and its very essence is based on sound budgetary principles which will ensure intergenerational transparency and accountability. In effect, will be precluded from engaging in the type of reckless spending policies pursued by Ireland's previous administration in the noughties. The referendum will be held on the 31st of May 2012 to allow the people of Ireland to decide whether or not we should ratify this treaty. Prior to this, the citizens of this country will need the full facts of what is in this treaty and what the implications of ratification are for Ireland. In the coming weeks, information from the Referendum Commission will arrive in every house. Members of Labour, Fine Gael and Fianna Fáil will be also canvassing on doorsteps advocating a yes vote. Furthermore, bodies like the Irish Farmers Association, amongst others, will be urging a yes vote to ensure the integrity of the European project and Ireland's place within it. In the referendum, the people of Ireland will be asked to vote yes or no to adding the following to Article 29, Section 4 of the Constitution of Ireland. The state may ratify the Treaty on Stability, Coordination and Governance in the Economic and Monetary Union done at Brussels on the 2nd day of March 2012. No provision of this Constitution invalidates laws enacted, acts done or measures adopted by the state that are necessitated by the obligations of the state under that treaty, or prevents laws enacted, acts done or measures adopted by bodies competent under that treaty from having the force of the law in this state. Should the people of Ireland agree, the Government will ratify the treaty and will subsequently introduce legislation to give effect to it. While the contents of this treaty have come under attack from various quarters, such as some of the opposition members of the Houses of the Oireachtas and some trade unions, I want to be very clear. This is not an austerity treaty, but what it is a treaty designed to end austerity, such that we must be mindful of the fact that at its very core of its title is the word stability. This must resonate with each and every one of us who have craved for this in previous politically and financially insecure times. The problems with these recessionary times we now find ourselves in is that during Celtic Tiger Ireland, there were no savings for a rainy day. Budgets were giveaways, banks were largely unregulated and consequently ran amok, and the rest is part of our very unfortunate recent history. As a small, open economy, it is essential that we have such plans for stability in place. Stability is about us adhering to a Keynesian economic framework whereby we strike a delicate balance between taxation and distribution during the good times so that we have enough of a cushion should anything untoward happen to our economy. Not one of the provisions of this treaty should cause any concern for Ireland. To alleviate any reservations in this regard, it is crucial that I point out that the terms we are currently governed under the EU IMF programme go considerably further than what is envisaged in this treaty. But what this treaty will do is ensure financial and economic accountability for each and every member state, so monikers and acronyms like PIGS will be a relic of a bygone era. Such an approach will bring credibility and confidence to the euro and stability to the financial markets. What some opposition commentators fail to grasp is that without such stability within the member zone, we will have difficulties endearing ourselves to multinational companies. We only have to look at Ireland's record in this regard. 8 of the top 10 pharmaceutical companies in the world are located here, not to mention multinational giants like PayPal, Facebook, Twitter, Google, eBay, all household names. Comfortingly, and despite our economic difficulties, in 2009 we attracted €9.8 billion worth of foreign direct investment to our shores. In 2010, 63 multinationals set up or expanded here, and this figure reached over 140 in 2011. This is no fluke. We are well placed geographically, we are English speaking with a highly educated workforce, and we are becoming more price competitive, and more crucially, we are a member of the EU. We are well placed as a country to avail of such investment opportunities, so why then would we usurp this upward trend when we need it most? Under the treaty, we will be compelled to ensure that our government deficit will not exceed 3% of GDP, our structural deficit will not exceed 0.5% of GDP, and our ratio of debt to GDP will not exceed 60% of GDP. It is in the national interest that we effect such debt reduction and bring budget deficits under controlled limits. These figures will be scrutinised by the Department of Finance, the Commission and the Council so that we have full accountability of our financial movements. However, there is some scope for movement in these figures in the event of exceptional circumstances whereby the state can deviate from them. By virtue of the Stability and Growth Pact of 2011, irrespective of the outcome of the referendum, we will be compelled to abide by the aforementioned figures, as all that is required is for the agreement of 12 of the 17 member countries to ratify it. The fundamental difference a yes vote will yield is our government will be able to choose how these targets are reached, thereby helping us regain some degree of our fiscal sovereignty. This will be but one step in the right direction. Moreover, the passing of this treaty will ensure relative parity of borrowing between the various member states such that the actions of any one country within the monetary union cannot adversely impact on the interest rate with which other euro countries can borrow money in the international financial markets. Furthermore, it will ensure that as a country we will not have to face the indignation of paying over 8% on the bond markets or being termed junk status. The massive disruption experienced by the financial markets in recent times, which led to Ireland having to rely on the EU and IMF to provide us with access to funding so we could ensure our schools, hospitals, Gardaí, doctors and other public services could remain operational and that our social payments could be honoured, will be a thing of the past. As a consequence of our citizens voting yes, we will have access to the European Stability Mechanism, which is a permanent rescue funding programme to succeed the temporary European Financial Stability Facility and European Financial Stabilisation Mechanism in the 17-member zone. There are some members of the opposition in the Houses of the Oireachtas who consider it blackmail that if we fail to ratify the Stability Treaty, we will be consequently precluded from accessing the European Stability Mechanism. I say to them, we do not live in a monetary utopia. It would be great if this state could continue to receive funds without being obliged to deal with our fiscal problems, which is one of the provisions of this treaty. We must be mindful that there is no bottomless pit in Europe where we can continue filling our black hole. And in any case, why would we, as a proud Irish nation, want to continue to suffer the ignominy and continued financial envelopes from the EU and IMF? I ask you, where is the opposition's national pride? We need to be part of this to ensure our long-term financial security going forward. Restoring stability to the euro is a critical step in removing ourselves from our current predicament. The treaty will play a crucial part in realising that objective, such that we need to pass this referendum for stability. It is only through such determined action that we will get back on track. We are on the road to recovery, but I do acknowledge that there are difficult times ahead for many thousands of families in Ireland. But I would urge those people that this should not be a referendum where decisions are based on the household charge, septic tanks or on this government. We must take all of these issues as separate and distinct to that of the economic and fiscal well-being of this country. I urge you that we need to pass this referendum to aid our recovery and provide certainty to our international investors and consumers. A yes vote will signify that we are serious about our recovery, that we are serious about our fiscal and economic independence, and it will help us build political capital within the European Union. Let me re-emphasise this. A vote for the treaty will be a vote for economic stability and economic recovery. Irrespective, the train is leaving the station and Ireland must be on that train. A yes vote is a vote for a better future, and therefore I commend this bill to the House.